Hi guys, one question is asked by one of our guys uh, related to this assignment. Question number, step number 6, ETL development, accumulating fact tables. This they have mentioned that they cannot understand what is they are asking from this one. Okay, now if we come to this step number 5, there they have asked about the ETL development. Develop the ETL using SSIS for data extraction, transformation, and loading. As mentioned in step 2, you should have at least 2 types of data sources. Example data source type, CSV database, like that way. Now you have to do the ETL development in the step number 5. Now, when we consider about this ETL development, you have to have the what we call you have to have the schemas, and there you have to develop your fact table here. Now, in this process, you have to have your the basic level fact table. That means if it is uh, suppose that it is a e-commerce based thing, something which is related to retail selling, something like that way. If we mention here how is the fact table is coming, normally date, it has a separate column. As an example, as if it is a sales fact table, date ID has a separate column. The store ID has a separate column. Product ID has a separate column. That sort of fact tables are considered as transaction level fact table. Transaction level fact table. Normally, we are having 3 main types of fact table. One thing is the transaction fact table. That is the basic level of fact table. Okay. In the ETL development, that is the basic level of fact table, transaction fact table. That means we can easily identify fact table by using a transaction fact table. For that one, date ID, it has a separate column. All the other components also, it has unique separate columns. Okay, that is the specialty in the what we called transaction type fact table. Now there is what we call disadvantage in this transaction type fact table. That means we cannot identify the current status of the scenario by using this transaction type fact table. So to do that one, there are some other type of fact tables also. The second type of fact table, we can consider it as the periodic snapshot fact table. By using the periodic snapshot fact table, we can identify the current status. Okay, right. Then now related to this one, okay, after creating in the Snowflake or the star schema, generating ETL process by using a transaction type fact table, you can do this ETL development. Now this step number 6, they are asking the third type of fact table. I have mentioned there are 3 types of fact tables. One thing is the transaction fact table. The second one is the periodic snapshot fact table, which you can understand the current status. Current status means over a regular period of time. Over a regular period of time, like that day, then week, month, like that way. If it is going, if it is understanding the status, we are calling it as the periodic snapshot fact table. We can identify the current status. Okay, the third type of fact table, which is called as accumulating fact table. Accumulating fact table. By using this accumulating fact table, you can identify what happens over a period of time, not a regular interval time. what happens in a particular period of time. That means in this fact table, you have to clearly identify for the now in the transaction fact table, there is a specific column for the date. But here, for one row, it has separate column for different types of dates. Different types of date. As an example, if we consider about the e-commerce thing, order date, billing date, delivery date, like that way. For each of those dates, there are separate columns. But for one particular scenario or one row, it has separate date columns. Okay, that is the specialty of this accumulating fact table. It means if it is, if I draw something from here, can't I take something from here? Right, like this way. If I consider this one, if I just draw the columns here. Now this, if it is, this is the first row. Okay, in this first row, this is the first row, and this is, we consider, well, this is the what we called order day, then billing day, then delivery date. Like this way, the date is separated by columns. Now this is a one specific date. Okay, the second specific date, like that. There are something like that way, and also some things which the dates are not defined. Also, we will be allocating columns here. Okay, that's what explained by the accumulating fact table. By using this accumulating fact table, we can understand what happens in what happens over a period of time. Now here they are asking, assume your fact table have following two additional columns. Okay, now it is this type of fact table. Okay, and this has separate datings, and you will be having two additional columns. What are those two additional columns? Acronym text create time. One is the create time, and the other thing is what? Complete time. This other thing is the complete time. Okay, create time indicates the actual time when this record got created. Okay, you can assume this equal to the event time. This thing is equal to the event time, and the complete time thing, hypothetically, it will take couple of days for your transaction to be completed. When that happens, you need to update this to the correct standard. Now, it is mentioned now, you do not know the exact time. Okay, but you are having a separate column for this one. Okay, once it is done, you can update this column. Okay, once this is done, you can update this. What is the date? You can put after it is done. Okay, so that you have a reserved column for those things. Okay, that's the way of creating this accumulating fact table. Okay, in this part, what you have to do, you have to create a accumulating fact table. Now earlier one you have created the transaction type fact table. Now here you want to create accumulating fact table. Okay, what is the difference between accumulating fact table and the transaction fact table? In the accumulating fact table, you are going to do what happens over a period of time. For a specific thing, you will be having separate column for the dates. Okay, that's what I understand by the accumulating fact table. And according to that, extend your fact table with about two columns. Now, this earlier fact table, you have to extend according to this accumulating fact table, and you have to put two separate columns. Set acronym text create time to be equal to the current system date when you load data to your fact table. Now this create time tab should be equal to the current system date. Okay, you have to put the current system date to the create type thing. Prepare a separate data set which contains the following structure. It can be a CSV or a SQL. All the other things are the same manner as the step number 5. What you want to do, you have to understand what is this accumulated fact table and do according to, you have to put the data according to the accumulating fact table. Thank you very much, guys. If you didn't understand something according to this one, you can put the comments. Okay, I will explain again.